Okay,
I got a color for everything.
If you did the system, then it worked. That's what I say.
Oh, yeah.
okay, so that we have, are we done with that part? Office assistant, we're gonna try to meet with some candidates on Wednesday, the
Correct.
17th at 2.
For
Okay,
DPS.
And if you don't have any, that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
just
I'll have
do every effort you can to bring in a few applicants. So how are we going about doing this? Because I'd like to see us advertise. I mean, you know.
Well, so we're going to have to, if we want to save some money, looking for an executive director, we're gonna have to do a LinkedIn account, an Indeed account, all these other applications that are used to find candidates. I'll just quickly, either today or tomorrow, depending on what else is on my plate. I will get those created, or possibly even bring my wife in to create those, to take it off my plate, because my wife was brought in on the days that Patty was not here.
yeah.
She was
okay.
not here on Wednesday and Thursday of her first week.
So can we advertise some interest for applicants for just administrative assistant help support? You know, that's what I'm.
Oh,
talking
sure,
about.
yeah, well, if we
Yeah.
do get that, yes.
That's what I want to see,
And-
so
Yeah.
that there's some response between now and Wednesday, and then.
Yep.
You know, you're not saying, yeah, you're not giving them full blown, you're just, if they're interested, we'll set you up for interview. First come, first serve. We'll do
You
the
know,
screening.
since we're,
What they do is they will bring it
Glad you
across
like
your account, they'll bring you people that fit, that are already in their system.
Sure,
And then you can go, okay, oh, these two people have options. You
Okay.
can send them a message saying, would you like an interview at 2
Okay.
o'clock?
we'll see what you send us our way, that'd be
Okay.
great.
so you're gonna try to put that on LinkedIn and
Yeah.
Indeed, okay.
Yeah, cool.
WPPA has
Yeah,
also.
and I have a note for that, because I actually went and got a bunch of information about that, from,
MRSC,
MRSC, there it is. So yeah, WPPA does have a port employment opportunities section that we can put up, both of the executive director and admin help, but I would only put admin help to start with. We don't want to do the
Correct.
executive director thing until we put the whole package together, and we're
Correct.
ready to do that.
one thing too, we negotiated with Patty what her salary was, or, what her hourly rate, was going to be, but
This would be an offering, I'm sure.
yeah, well, this would we can reduce that because we,
Oh,
yeah.
we knew Patty.
Totally.
We
No,
knew
I-
her criteria, so that's something that,
I think it would be just fair to look for somebody at an entry level,
Sure.
$22 an hour.
okay, yeah.
Because
Just,
then we wouldn't
wanna-
get the bare bones, but we'd get somebody who's had some experience.
So for now, what you want to say, and Commissioner Jackson, hopefully you hear me out here, is that the pay is negotiable. You know, however
Yeah.
we want to advertise that,
depending on experience.
a pay, at the, yeah, it just needs to, we need to address that, at that advertising of that position in a way that we're not overstating what their roles are gonna be at the same time. Not deter somebody who might. You never know through this process, if we get an applicant that might have been an operations manager for all we know.
Absolutely.
We don't know
Oh,
that,
yeah.
right? So we need to keep things open as far as how we word that, all right? Entry level is good. Experience preferred, those kinds of things, opportunities. Future opportunities are present along those lines. We'll go from there. You can word that, right? Okay,
Okay. Done with that one?
I
Can we
am.
move on? I saw that you raised your hand. Did you want to say? Okay,
You're
Thank-
having a lot of fun over there, I could tell.
I'm not responsible.
okay,
It's easy when you're not responsible, right?
Right.
taking approval for Travis. You need. Don't you have minutes already? I mean.
That's
approved
the signing of
minutes.
these minutes that allow you to come
Okay.
in and give me approval. I don't know if the approval was also given the Key Bank account. Might have been
Oh.
just the Kitsap Bank.
True, well. we have
Travis,
that.
excuse me, I'm sorry, Commissioners, Scott, but, Travis, I got a call from Kitsap Bank saying that we haven't done what we're supposedly doing. And I
Right,
know all the commissioners and everybody signed off. Have you had a chance to talk with them and see what information we need.
Yeah,
I
Ted,
did,
I can help you with that, okay? So
Okay.
you and I have to do one or two things. I talked with Tracy there,
Okay.
today, I talked with Tracy, anyway, Friday and Monday. And what it is that you and I have to agree to go in and do it in person or do it digitally. Or do it digitally. Well, for some reason, I'm not getting her email and I can't find it in junk. So if we could if we could tell her, you and I, that we're gonna go in there in person, because we have to do it the same way, no matter which way it is, either digital or in person. If you agree to do it in person right now, then I'll just tell her the same.
All
Is
right,
that,
how about if I go in first thing in the morning?
okay,
I'll have my AD with me. Tracy's been a great person, so I'll go in there and
okay,
take care of the portion I have. But I was just concerned because it's no fault of anybody's else's. It's just
okay.
what we have to do. So
Okay, and then since I know that, I'll call her today and say I'll be in later tomorrow and that you and I agree, we'll just do it in person. How's that?
perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll be
All
in
right.
there first thing in the morning. Thank you.
And
And I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
No, me too, so we're both good.
Yep.
And John,
Yeah.
was it clear that after those two identifications were done, I can just come in on my own at that point?
That I don't know. I can
think
ask.
so.
Okay.
She said
I think you can.
Yeah, I can call Tracy again. I actually did talk with her when I made the deposits for our tax account.
Well, let us do this first because that is, right now you have a red light at an intersection. We go in there, it turns yellow. And then you go in there and she'll verify with us, so it goes green.
Sounds good.
Can you make it quick?
I thought the last meeting, that we also made a copy of the approved minutes.
And that's what we have here.
Yes,
Yes,
also, I haven't heard any of that discussion.
but she even told me that it was already approved even before that. So,
I just didn't want to have another red stop thing where you guys did your thing and.
Yeah.
You still needed the minutes.
but
No, they've
still,
been absolutely
It's already
fabulous.
manual.
They're working with us,
Right.
so.
okay,
See, that's good.
yay, you like
Yeah.
that, okay. Now we can go to the long stuff.
It might be quick.
Well, okay, I hope so. Discussion about the purchase and sale agreement with Jeff and Debbie Carey's water system. And so that would be the amendments.
Okay.
Amendment
Okay.
number one.
How are we doing, Jeff?
Well, you're asking two different questions.
I know, I do.
You want to status what we're doing, I can do that, it's quick and easy. Or if we get in the contract, that's gonna be a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got, I don't know if we can,
I mean, I can leave it.
I'm taking a look at this one. We got our inspection report.
Correct,
There weren't any big red flags or anything, so that's all good.
right.
I have this updated information.
Right.
Okay, so we're good with that.
Okay.
So the amendment, though, that's the nuts and bolts of stuff.
Yeah.
Right, couple things with the amendment. One is, Bob Poole didn't get it till yesterday afternoon,
Oh, okay,
okay? And unfortunately, this quarter, he teaches at Seattle, I think it's Seattle.
yeah, yeah,
In the
yeah.
morning, and so he's out here early and then comes back 2 or 3 o'clock and does other stuff the rest of the evening. So yeah, I haven't heard back.
Okay,
One, two is. Contract, in the past, the extension was predicated on identifying what the issue was and then saying what, then being an extension. In this contract, there's nothing stating what the causes are for the extension. Nothing. And I don't know that to be a problem or an issue. You know, personally, I have a hang up, but it may be just me, and fine, we'll get through that. But I'm a little concerned about the 120 days, because when I looked at language, and maybe I'm just picking the fly specks out of the pepper, but. See it. Where did I print it?
you know, a lot of times what we often do in contracts for extensions is you don't have to have a reason, but you can put it a date or sooner, you just add that
Right.
or sooner.
Right,
and that can often cover that if things go well, like for the vacation of the
right,
road, the BLA,
right.
et cetera.
See, the cover, where hang up I'm having is, in the context of the original agreement, I
Mhm.
don't disagree that we agreed we're just vacating the alley. And, you know, and it's like, well, it's like, by adding the additional help to the port, now I've delayed everything. By the way the attorney's looking at it, number one. Number two. And I know the attorneys argue about this when we're doing the contract, but. In the Plat of Allen, unless it's going to the waterfront, as you know,
Yes,
all these are vacated. And the issue was raised about, well, because of additional area, now there's additional people who comment. Well. They opened their mouth before they looked at things. There's no additional people that are fronting any of this. You know,
oh, I see, because our
You got
the
yours,
attorney
I got ours.
assumed that.
And Cedarland is the other one, and that's it.
Yeah, so, but our attorney assumed that there were going to be
Yeah.
others. Okay, gotcha. So,
And so technically. I mean, like right now. That alley is not open and. It's like you can't build on it, but you're not gonna build on it, number one, but it's like, we have to go through this operation through the county. You know, where they have to have the hearings board go through it one more time, but basically by statute, it's been vacated.
well, I get that, Jeff, but again, the way that our original one was like, there were two closings, and that's simply why they were trying to avoid that for this amendment. Because, you know, you
Right.
can't really transfer property that's not there.
Okay, so then this. Okay, so there's a line, the fourth line down in financing, I'm a little concerned about because. you know,
Okay, yeah,
I mean, do we have this nailed down or not?
We're working on it.
No, okay.
I mean, yeah,
I'm not this is,
Okay,
I'm not,
sure.
I appreciate what I'm saying to the commission. Do we or do we not? Not, you know, I know what we're trying to do. I understand all the problems. But I'm concerned by the way that's written. That there's an out. That, in other words, and
gotcha.
not that you don't need an out if it's really a problem. But let's get it on the table now and know that we got a problem or not.
Yeah.
Cause I'm delaying. It's not just you. It's not just me.
Yeah,
I'm delaying something for Red Dog. They may miss the financing window too.
because of this delay, you mean?
Right, because I'm trying to get them in the first or start of the second quarter.
All right.
What's gonna happen here is it's gonna get delayed to the third quarter for them. He's trying to invest funds, his guy's trying to invest funds. We missed the window in September. Because he had an option where to put his funds or not. They'll be coming back if we get this proceeds and what have you, and so that we can. And I'm not saying that, you know, that's not the port's problem, that's my problem.
Right.
All I'm really saying
I
is
know.
we're all. I'm trying to make, in a weird way, I'm trying to make this easier, not easier, I try to make it, seems like I'm making it harder.
For
Right.
you,
people
for
to
sure,
say, yeah.
yeah. Well, you know, you said Bob hasn't seen it yet.
No.
So we'd have to delay on this anyway.
Correct, but I will not sign it only because I see this fourth line says, you know, we're
Yeah.
describe financing, but let's meet certain conditions, well. You know, if we're gonna extend it, I would minimally want you to identify the conditions.
Well, let us talk to Keith. Or, and
whatever.
see what we can. What we can come up with.
Well,
April 26th though, because the first quarter is March,
yeah,
so that's,
But that's fine, I mean,
I mean,
first go through the process.
I
You know,
understand.
like when Travis was talking to me.
mm-hmm,
You know, he prefaced it right off the bat, he said, you know, okay, here's the, you know, the elephant in the room, and then we went into it, I mean. I knew for sure we're gonna be talking 60, I was trying to get warmed up to that. And then he's, you know, finally, the punchline was 120,
And they came back with 120 because of the added vacation.
Yeah, no, I get it.
of course. And, you know, maybe. I mean, does the board want to say, well, wait a minute, guys, we're not so hung up on the vacation. the vacation isn't the thing that we want to delay this deal even further.
The issue too, like, Travis asked me, okay, somebody protests, forgetting that it's still the same parties from them. Okay, so there's only 3 people.
Okay.
I'm not gonna protest.
I have a question
I do
quick.
too.
Before, hold on. But in past, on like Wheelwright, when Ron Griffey vacated, Richard Knight and I protested one of them. And that exactly went nowhere. It basically got approved and vacated. Because of the condition and all the different criteria
Sure.
that wrote.
Yeah,
And this easement area has all that same criteria and more. It's actually less chance of it being open, back in 1904.
I totally agree with that. I'll ask the question. in a
Okay, now go
future.
ahead. I'm sorry.
well, mine was that with the, well, now I lost my thought, darn
It's
it.
all right.
That's
for the whole line.
with the closing on, I mean, again, it's because if, without it being vacated, then you can't really totally close on it. Because it's the legal descriptions, you really can't close unless you have the true
But
legal
remember,
description.
that's why we had to split.
Yes,
The-
I get that, and that's what what we were trying to avoid, just because of the messiness,
You know,
quote
I wish-
unquote.
The only thing I'd say is, okay, so you got a contract that says you'll do this.
Right,
So if you don't wanna do this, you find out, say, for sake of argument, find out later it's impossible to do or whatever. Then why don't we bring it before the, the 11:30 hour and say, okay, we see this, we're fine with all the rest, we wanna negotiate on this one point.
okay.
Or whatever.
Well, then let's talk to our lawyer about this and see if we can change that, at least till the 31st. That's,
Yeah,
that's,
it's not- Yeah, something different.
well, because if you're trying to work with your client, then that's the first quarter,
Yeah, no,
31st.
I get it. That's fine.
The way I look at this is that we may need more mercy than this at some point. It's all, I'm serious.
Yeah,
Like, so what are the ramifications? I mean, you explained it to agree. If we try to do the closing or we do the closing without vacating, and while it's still, we're waiting for that, with some language in there that addresses that. I mean, would that be acceptable?
And it's fine. It's.
Because what I'm also
Yeah.
saying, with everything going on, there may be some other delays.
And I'm fine, I understand it's gonna take some time to get Travis on board to have the same authority that the ag
Right,
had to do
right.
the grants. I got all that, and I'm comfortable with working that, it just, when it went out all the way to the end. And then all of a sudden now, the last part, because of how funding will probably work, where the close date is like the first week of May, but all of a sudden, the funding isn't until like almost the middle of May.
Right,
We're getting close to your other trigger.
yeah, true.
that's what I'm talking about, so I'd like to see us satisfy what you need and find out if that's okay with the attorney.
See, that's why we had that whole provision in the
Right.
contract to say, if we
For the
can get
finance,
these
yeah.
different things. So we don't break the port, but so we can get us moving so that you have title, so you can begin building. And working that side of the equation. There was that deed issue and how to work all that, the finance.
I see working with you in every effort we can, we're talking to the attorney about the language that should look like, so that can't be a showstopper and push this thing down the road, because we are gonna need some more mercy after this on some of the other things that have to happen with the other parts of this agreement. I already know this is gonna happen.
There was a point also made, I don't quite understand. The covenant's missing, but we discovered it was missing on lots 7 and 8 of block 49. That's, if you look at a clock, and you got the circle, from 9 o'clock to noon, that's missing. We have the noon all the way around to 9. I noticed in their documentation or email to the board, they're saying that they're missing, or they need a covenant for the, what would be the 6 to 9, and there was the 2 lots in the bottom.
Hmm.
And it was in there, it was in the packet.
Oh, that's weird, okay.
So
And Jeff, what email was that and when was it sent?
I received a forward from Travis yesterday afternoon around what, 3:30, something like that,
Right.
to somewhere. Once we talk,
Okay, that was from Caitlin, right?
yes.
Right?
We need to get
Yeah,
that squared up.
3:30.
Okay, I'll have to look.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to look through that one.
So that would be the other. All right,
Yeah,
And so anyway, okay, and getting back to the point, the Ryan from Northwest Water said, in this, I think, and I haven't seen the report, but my input he gave me verbally was he was fine with this not having that sanitary. I understand why the attorney's saying they have it. All I was doing is trying to save the documents and have it recorded when we did the BLA.
Right,
But if it needs it, I can create it today and tomorrow have it filed and be done. And I'm happy to do that. I was trying to save it $205
okay,
charge in the, but
Okay.
we're spending thousands, it's a couple hundred. right?
so you are gonna do that?
Well, I can do that if that's hanging them up, but we need to clarify.
I don't know, yeah.
We need to
Okay.
clarify what's going on first with, lots 7 and 8 and 40.
the
it's in the
covenants.
thread that I forwarded to everybody around 3:15 yesterday.
Okay,
Thank you.
right,
Oops. Let me look that up here.
so I'm gonna ask a dumb question, but how do we verify that? Or is it
Title.
just through the title?
Yeah.
Okay,
I noticed in the verbiage, when I asked the question, had they reviewed the title, they wanted more, but the board was saying they don't need more. Is that true, or, I mean,
So,
Wow.
the, what was it, the title, inspection?
You mean the,
basically a
title.
commitment title.
Yeah,
It was like
commitment title.
167 pages,
Oh.
unfortunately.
yeah, okay,
See, actually, in other words, I sent an email, I'll have to look at the dates, but I sent an email asking where we are on certain things, like the termination of lease, the different components. And then Travis got some of this back and finally some more yesterday. I got it.
Yeah, and then the timeline you sent me here had everything on. Which everybody should have. The title report review I know has been done by the lawyers, but I don't know if they've approved anything. But they seem, from what I understood that John had said that he wasn't interested in spending any more money investigating any further, but I don't know if the board approved it.
Yeah, I mean, the board would be here and
Yeah,
I don't remember it coming up.
well,
hmm,
I didn't hear anything from the, personally, when I
Yeah,
called them
sure.
about the title report. That it can't, there's a lot of references to all of,
Two of those items don't even belong in that title report. They're
Really?
not germane to that property. But that's fine, I mean, it's fine, it doesn't, I've learned that when you have exceptions and you start pulling and pulling, things go down. So,
well, and when I looked at those, of course, they're all auditor file,
Yeah.
references, and I thought, I didn't really take the time to try to go through each one. And I didn't see any liens. You did share about the PUD
Right,
issue, which, you're honest with that, but that's not even
right.
listed on that.
Right, and so on that issue,
Mm-hmm,
provided, Sealand Homes met with PUD. Sealand Homes said they agreed and did this, I contacted the lawyer that listed me and me personally and the whole thing.
yeah,
And their statement back to me is, it is done unless Sealand defaults.
oh, okay.
So,
Can you get that email to us or just, okay, great. Well, and I didn't see any big red flags, but again, I didn't look through all the auditor files either, so I have no problem with that.
and there's a
but-
lot of detail there, because
Yeah.
we're doing road maintenance, they're all in there.
yeah,
yeah, so right here, I mean, these are all Leanne's emails that are forwarded to me. There's one here from Leanne to Catlin on December 15th after the review had been done.
Mhm.
And it says, yes, I wrote a letter to Jeff for the extension. We will sign it today. This is when we did the extension, but I don't want it to fall through the cracks. Commissioner Sheridan isn't in favor of a broader search, as we have to try to keep the attorney fees down as much as possible. Maybe Commissioner Scott can comment on that as well, just no mention of Ted. And this is,
Well, and I did
This is
talk to
from
you
Leanne.
about that, yeah.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
did talk
yeah,
to you
this
about
is,
that.
this is a week or more before it passed.
Okay, well, bottom line is, we're gonna ask our lawyers about the change in the date.
Right.
Cause really that's the bottom line, the change of the date.
Yeah.
Right.
it is.
Okay,
The change of the date on the.
on closing.
On
But- and I-
For
and-
financing,
and I just-
so.
I would, you know, I know where Bob's gonna come from, or I have a feeling, is
Mhm.
in the recitals or wherever. You know, reference, so to speak, cause and effect.
Okay,
Because I mean, basically, I mean, technically, if this agreement's the only agreement, the next option is either we get this thing going. By the close dates we have. Either through the grants or through the finance. That we offer.
so is it beyond our control, where closing may not be able to occur because of it not being vacated? Or are we in control of that, as far as, okay, it's not vacated yet?
Technically, I filed it on the 21st of December. And they came back, and wanted some additional signatures, which I
Yeah,
believe. you
yep,
got.
I made the appropriate adjustment and emailed it back to them and they said, great.
And because I had forgotten that one of the adjacent property owners, their folks had got involved, you know, with the property. I had him have his mother and dad sign because they were co-owners in property and get that. So,
Okay,
and that got down to him yesterday, but,
okay,
the gal down there at the county said, you know, we'll keep moving forward, but we need this, this and this.
Okay.
And
is that in state law, 120 days?
I don't know.
Cause if it's not, we could expedite it some way, cause I thought it was usually 14 days or something like that,
I've never seen them in 14 days ever in the county.
30 days maybe, okay.
The problem is in the past, they've been petitioned or they come into the water, those take longer.
Yeah,
The one I remember when, Ron Griffey vacated a portion of Wheelwright up near the end of the plat.
mhm,
The one reason I petitioned is that if we're not gonna leave easements, and in the beginning, they weren't leaving easements. If we're not leaving easements, I said, you're trapping me, because technically, my dad's property and my property are two different entities, so if dad ever sells property, then I'm landlocked. Well, everything's hunky-dory, it's not a problem, you know, everybody's with us and what have you, but
so what did they do?
they vacated, but they left.
Kept the
easements.
easement, okay,
But they had not had that initially, and I was gonna get landlocked.
okay,
And a case in point, this is without, the precedent has been set with another landowner. Just north of Ron's, where they vacated, and he's landlocked, and his only out is to the highway. And he's in the turn, coming down the hill, just
oh,
across the power lines.
okay,
And he's got zero options. And he can do things as a residence, but it's zoned commercial. And see, the only way in is coming down the hill and in, and your only option is come out and go down. He's been trying to get an easement from us because of that vacation. The problem we have is Anderson, when they created the well, there's like a 200-foot area we can come across. But because the way the covenants are in the well, the access is only maintenance to the well, not
Okay.
to other adjacent properties.
Right,
The only other way is on the south side of my dad's building, and there's 36 feet between the building and the property line. You just, there's no way that's gonna work for a commercial property.
yeah.
So this is not without precedence, but what I'm trying to say is that in all these cases, even with people protesting, me included, it's gone through unless it was going to the water or some other.
sure. Well, I have no doubt it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
passed. So bottom line is that we'll have to get a hold of our lawyer and see what we can do about
right.
changing it up.
I mean, all I can say verbally is I'm willing to extend verbally that, you know, there was a state where you have this Friday.
Yeah. Right now, we have to have this amended by Friday, or we have to make a change with you to extend that date.
Right. And right now,
I don't
all
know
I
if
can
we'll
say
have
is,
time.
you know, we don't have time, and I mean, I will get back to. I mean, there's just not, You know the problem.
I do, so, but how are we gonna expedite that? Well, let me get a hold of the,
Look,
let's get a hold of the lawyer.
I guess you got a record of it here. I'm willing to give the court till next Friday
Okay,
to work this through.
Okay,
okay,
that's
So
golden right there.
Okay, and we're meeting
Yep.
next Wednesday, right?
yes,
It's
correct,
recorded.
that's
it's-
correct,
It's, okay, cool.
So you might have that on.
yeah, great.
Oh, brother.
Other than that, it's been a piece of cake. There hasn't been any. problem.
Pretty, like pound cake, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I do think we do need to put that on the agenda,
I'm
to say yay or
trying,
nay
yeah,
on the
get
extension.
in and,
Nothing else should interfere with our budget. Commissioner Jackson, are you tracking?
I am.
Okay,
So other than that, I think that covers. I'm not seeing anything that's coming up of any problem. The only thing, task wise is gonna go beyond is this as-bills.
Yeah,
And everybody's fine with that, and,
Yeah.
and Ryan has seen the, copy of my 2016 when the plan was approved. And basically, the only difference is, all the distribution lines are the same. The difference is any coupling to houses,
mm-hmm,
that would be the difference, and whenever Cedarland was digging across, I would measure elevation. Across the road, and it's lining up, make sure we had it this way and this way. You know, as close as possible.
I'm not too worried about the as-bills, because that doesn't require
Yeah,
those for closing,
Right.
they're handy, but, okay, that's
but
good.
I mean, you technically have it,
Yes,
one additional thing that's been brought up is that the Northwest Water wants me to get a lead evaluation survey done of all the system as well as all the residential connections.
okay,
As soon as I get through some of these other things, I'll turn my attention to that. But that, one, that wasn't in the agreement, but two, as we kind of discussed a little bit last meeting, all our pipes are either PVC, you know, either the C900 or the PVC. And all the connections to houses are either PVC or in most cases, the HDPE type, you know, the black poly pipe.
mm-hmm,
And the only areas that I know that have any chance for any amount of lead would be the galvanized pipe, it's the drop pipe in the well. As we kind of discussed, and and some of the connectors that are made out of copper, they're using lead-free solder or raising when they do it, but there is, even in, I didn't realize this, but it makes sense, when they manufacture copper, they put trace amounts of lead to make it more malleable,
okay,
so it doesn't fatigue.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either, and so that was, you know, you think you're getting copper or bronze or whatever.
That makes sense, actually, copper is very brittle.
so
Yeah,
how long will that take you to get that test?
I should have it out either by the end of this week or next week.
Okay, great,
So,
that's good,
I mean, you know, they're all 2009 or later, more recent connections, so there's, other than that galvanized pipe and the drop pipe, so.
Yeah.
Another point. Okay, I mentioned streetlights.
Hey, can we focus on the water? I mean, streetlights are, we know the issue there, Jeff. I'm sorry to expedite this meeting, but we're out of our purview. Honestly, we're talking about your water system that we want to purchase. Streetlights, I'm still trying to figure out. We know the issue there.
Okay, I had an obligation with my nonprofit to an obligation to Cedarland Homes to provide electrical power from the well house. And all I wanted to say is, I'm putting it in the easement and it won't be in the well house.
And so what does that have to do with the purchase of your water district?
The last time I checked, you're buying some property. That property is in that commitment is with that property. That's all.
okay,
I
well,
All right, thank you.
anything else, Jeff, because we can go on to
Yeah, I know. One
the
last,
policy,
one
or,
last thing. We're not gonna resolve it today, okay?
right,
what does, and important is to think about this. When Cedarland finally gets houses in there, is the port gonna be willing to pave their portion of the right of way? Like Wade Street,
Say that one
Pave?
more time.
Pave the portion,
say that again?
to pave it,
Yes,
is that in, that's not in the,
no. No, but whatever, what I'm trying to say is, okay. Like, everybody, when I say everybody, most property owners and developers have been paving along the way as they build.
mm-hmm,
So how does the port wanna handle it? And I don't need an answer right now, I want you to think about it, really. In other words, there's a frontage of 200 feet you have.
yeah, correct. Okay, well,
Okay,
didn't
thinking,
think about that one,
Okay,
okay,
there, done.
okay. Next is the regulations, and policy,
it's a good point,
I'll just do one.
getting ahead of us, but that's okay.
Did you make any contact with?
no,
Okay, fine.
I haven't,
I pointed out to Travis, that you remember I raised the issue that I felt there's a certain amount of money left on the table with this whole thing, you know, function of tying in, the no right here. In your policies, it says exactly what to do, it just wasn't followed.
You pointed that out before, and I appreciate that.
So, but no, this is even, this was, in other words, it gives the factor. In other words, when somebody comes to a larger meter,
Yeah,
it actually, in your policy, gives the factor. And so, for example, minimally,
to make that determination.
you would say 6,000 times the factor,
Right.
and I think it was 8, and we were nowhere near that. So technically, all that work we did way back improving that special meeting for the commercial thing didn't have to happen.
So there will be a policy meeting, actually,
So
and to go over it.
I'll give her a call tomorrow.
also, I noticed the grading permit has not been picked up either.
The what
The
permit?
grading for that site, the grading.
Oh, for her,
Yeah.
okay,
So that leads me to the next thing. In all the houses Searland's built connecting to the port or anybody else, there's always been water adequacy notices put in the permit. There is none in the.
memory care?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting,
Yeah,
okay. Well, I'll give her a call to find out where she's at with all that then.
and. The only thing is, but it really doesn't matter until you figure out the rest of it. I mean, the rates and things like that, but generally speaking, it looks like they're using that factoring. As to determine rates also.
Okay,
But it's, again, this factoring is in your policy, so I mean, it's not anything we have to create, it's there,
okay.
you just have to follow it.
I think the factors they're actually prescribed by the AWWA,
Yeah,
and then, yes, on the base rate
Right.
that usually is involved, you can apply them then to the base rate as well.
Thank you.
And then, the policy too is the one where we need to address the guarantee or no guarantee. And I think I shot you the copy of the WAC,
Yeah. Got it.
so
And
I
we'll
don't
look
have,
at-
personally, I don't have a problem, it's just that those two need to be reconciled,
Indeed, okay, yes.
we'll leave it at that.
There's
Where
So
possible.
many things, we're just, we've got like 10 balls that we're trying to juggle, so we'll get there. We will get there,
And again, I want to stress, I'm not trying to fix all the problems.
right?
today, Tomorrow,
I know.
as long as we keep moving in a direction, even if we just take one policy. And say, okay, let's follow this. or-
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the port's gonna be in hot water from the standpoint of, if you have you're dealing one way with one party. And then you have a policy that says you're doing this and you're not, and there's no write-up as why you're doing a different policy.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
Right.
you get hot water.
Yeah, no.
Not that, you know what I'm saying, you get the friction of the people.
So we're gonna get there. We're gonna get through the,
Okay,
we're
I'm
gonna be
done.
focused on the
Okay.
tasks that we need to do.
We'll need to address the budget and the water system too.
Yeah,
We could address that with the budget.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at updates for the
Keep hearing the phone.
water
Oh,
stuff.
no, I
so
turned
that's
mine off.
great.
Good.
Okay,
I won't go any further.
well, we can talk more on Wednesday,
Yeah,
next Wednesday, a week
Only
from now.
budget, only budget.
well, so the only thing we're gonna address on Wednesday, correct?
Yeah,
Is
that's
the
the budget.
extension.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
extension, 5 minutes for the extension, and then the rest of the time for the budget, something like that. I don't know.
Also,
that's true, yes.
Yeah,
You have that on there, an extension for the agreement, okay,
that's.
the budget, and then
We
2
have
o'clock.
for the
is-
agenda, it's published for 2 o'clock.
extension is super important, but we only need this time, much time for
Candidates
it.
will come in at 2 o'clock for the to look at,
Okay.
extend, having somebody come in to help.
Applicant, yeah,
And then 3 o'clock is when the budget hearing takes place essentially.
With the
or
extension.
agenda.
Well, it's
With the
really not a-
extension, we'll put the extension ahead of that.
It's really not a hearing, it's
Yeah,
discussion on the
discussion.
budget, possible action.
right.
Hearing is. a
One
different-
last thing, when you talk to the attorney, and whatever they say about the covenants, let Travis know, and I'll talk to him, and I'll do whatever I need to do.
Okay,
Yeah, they said that, they want you to file for it. Yeah, I think I said that in the email.
You said stick, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're sticking to you having that
Okay,
filed.
fine. I wasn't sure which way that went.
Sure.
Okay, fine, that's done.
The only questions I have is, I'll just go over my email to Kate for. Cause we want to extend our deadline on Friday to the 19th,
correct.
and that's just for the inspection period. Deadline,
Well, that's
cause that's the deadline that we're trying to meet here.
not for the inspection,
That's
that
the-
already went, isn't it?
The inspection,
This
the
is,
only thing that really had extension originally was inspections.
Right,
because
Yeah,
of The timing, but now
the amendment,
that's what she told me in an email, that the deadline for having this amendment is on Friday, which says on the.
oh, okay.
It says, it's
the
called the inspection period on their timesheet.
I'll
Yeah,
talk-
and I was a little confused by that
I
myself.
Better look at that.
I'll talk to school.
Yeah, I better look at that because,
I
think our
totally know what you're
inspection-
saying, and I totally agree, it seems like we got two different word patterns going.
yeah,
We have inspection extension, which that was really the big push. And then we got through that. And then, but in that sense, the caveat was 30 days, or 15 days extension, which basically put it this Friday. And so I don't know if they made the jump to saying, well, any amendment has got to be done by Friday.
well, they were probably trying to wrap that into it,
Yeah.
because it was just easier.
Yeah,
Okay,
But the extension,
I bet you're right.
but, well, I'll get a hold of them then. Or you'll get a hold of them, we'll both get a hold of them.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
I better,
I'm tapped.
You're hearing that too, huh? Yeah, neither of ours, yeah, probably.
I mean,
What?
just lost my agenda here.
Oh,
Well, that's kind of it. Now, do we want to discuss more about our search for the executive director? I don't think so. I think we're gonna try to,
there's a bit of a redundancy there.
figure out our budget first and then we'll make an appointment with Rothman.
yeah,
Sound like a plan?
it does, because then we know what that discussion will look like, well,
Yes.
budget, and then we'll make an appointment. Yeah,
I have a couple of questions, just am I
Yeah.
coming across this week? First, as of January 1st, commissioners or elected officials got a raise from 128 to 161,
I
and
didn't
that's
know that.
from the Office of Financial Management.
Really?
Yes, and when
I
I
don't
was,
wanna raise.
I know, but when I was doing the minutes, I know that you all had talked about capping
Mhm.
meetings and
Yeah,
and
That's
you
true.
can roll them, you could say at 128, but it does, I think it has to be by resolution. And then also, in the resolution, the cap at 3,000 and then kind of, what does that look like? How many meetings a month is
Okay.
that? So I wasn't sure if we wanted to talk about.
We did
that.
vote on the cap at 3,000. Would that be sufficient?
that should be sufficient.
We didn't do a resolution, which I suggested a couple of meetings ago. And I'm Travis, I'm going through the emails. I didn't see some of the stuff that you referenced, so maybe if you could re-forward that stuff, but Aaron, you're absolutely right. We need to have a resolution capping our rates. So what we agreed upon was 3 meetings, no more. I don't care if you do 10, 15, but 3 meetings. So, but we do need a resolution. You're absolutely right.
Yes. I think it's a requirement if you're not
It
going to
is.
full compensation, there, it has to be in resolution.
Okay, then we gotta add that on Wednesday.
And I
Sorry.
can research the format there and see exactly what we need to say, if you would like me to take that off of your plate, Travis.
Yes,
That's-
please.
Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron.
And I don't know if the rest, I think Mr. Van Busker has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ken. Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, commissioners. I agree with Commissioner Jackson. I think I also suggested back when you had the budget hearing that if you were going to take less than the full stipend, that you need to do that by resolution. I understand you're having a meeting next Wednesday regarding the budget. If you take any action on amending that budget, I think that's a public hearing. So I hope that folks will be able to shine in and talk about that. I saw that you posted the minutes of the budget hearing back in December. And I hope that you take some of my comments into consideration when you do that budget. And the last thing I wanted to mention was regarding policies for the water system. I think there was some discussion at that budget hearing about creating a policy where the ratepayers would be involved with setting biannual or annual meetings for that group. So I hope you can take that all into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if I may, I have the email here from a cat that says, please keep us in the loop on the extension. The parties need to sign the extension by 1/12/2024, which is the end of the current inspection period, which
By one today,
by Friday,
by Friday.
Yeah, by Friday. So need some clarity there because that doesn't seem like they're talking about the amendment to the
Oh,
purchase and
okay.
sale agreement. But that's what she's referring to when she says, I need this signed now.
That's why I pushed it at Bob. I said it's not a little out of balance, but
So
Boy, I'm getting a little-
Travis, I was just going through my emails. Can you forward that to me, please? Or
Yes, I will forward that to you.
thank you very much.
Is that on status updates? Is it that one? Which
Yeah, it's
one
on
is it?
status updates, but you got to keep clicking all the 3 dots to bring up all the emails.
Okay,
Every 3 dots is another thread.
Well, but
In fact, here's,
what Jeff just said, wouldn't that trump that? Because he agreed that we have a little more time regardless of what, because they're basing on what they're basing everything on what they're doing, on what we agree on, right?
I think there's 2 things we're trying to figure out. One is what the hell we're talking about. Exactly.
so I've got a thread here to you, Ted, on 1/9/2024.
Jeff, thank you. I'm just laughing with
I
Jeff.
will I'll just resend it here.
All right, thank you. Jeff, that was pretty good.
But verbally, I'm saying, whatever, regardless whether it's inspection or amendment, I'll agree to. Yeah. Go to the next. Friday.
That covers it, yeah, thank you.
I will just send her an email
Alright.
just on that.
Because everything's predicated on what we all agree on,
Yeah.
not on what they want to do.
Correct.
Okay. That's fine. And I see the confusion there.
so, they did wrap it all into one thing.
Into one email.
Well, this amendment, amendment number 1 for the purchase and sale, it's extension to the financing, inspection, and closing periods. So they rolled it all into one.
So they referred to it to all those positions,
Mhm.
But
even
you were
though
right.
the inspection is done.
Even though the contract that isn't written
Cor-
that way.
Right, that's correct, so,
Not that we're gonna.
but it's
No.
an amendment,
Order,
yeah.
but I'm saying, if this is the final agreement,
Yeah,
then we all gotta, sit
Okay,
well.
it worked for them.
well, I know that they're trying to protect us too, you know.
Yeah, true.
And we have due diligence as well,
No,
so,
but I don't want this on my face any more than yours.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, going back,
okay.
okay.
regardless of where Debbie wants to live.
Okay.
My other question was, Patty- she texted me on Friday and asked how much sick time she had. And I looked in Springbrook and there wasn't anything loaded in there. So I looked up the Washington State, I think there's a requirement that, I think it's for every 40 hours you work, you accrue 1 hour, and that's by law. So I think based on her hours that she had worked through December 31st, she had like 3 hours of sick leave. She was gone for 16, is that right, Travis? She was gone for,
Yeah, she did not work
16.
Wednesday and Thursday of last week.
okay, so I wasn't sure how, if she shouldn't get paid for those 2 days, or if because she for a week was a full-time employee, if she should earn her 8 hours for January, or just pay her out the full 16 hours.
The sick,
That was
I
like fine.
mean, she obviously was sick.
Yeah,
She was willing to step in and stuff. I kind of,
yeah,
okay. I just wanted your blessing on that.
okay,
Talking about the same thing, you talking about,
I think she was worried that because she wasn't physically here, that she wouldn't get paid for those hours, so she
Okay.
wasn't sure how she was accruing
okay,
she got
sick leave.
the 3, you're talking about the 3 hours, yes.
So
and
she
would
had
get-
earned 3 hours, and so should she, so for the 16th, Wednesday and Thursday, should
Yeah.
she only get paid for 3 hours that she
No.
had accrued, or just pay her the
so
full
just,
16?
just pay, I mean, there's a place to be penny wise and dollar foolish.
That's how I felt,
Okay,
and
all right.
Well,
the fact that she was
yes.
willing to be here, okay.
Okay, anything else? Nothing for the good of the order? Do I hear anybody for the good of the order?
Make a motion to adjourn,
Is
I'll
there a
second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye,
all right,
meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day.
Meeting adjourned, but the work doesn't stop.
Well, this begins.
Oh.
The files, contracts, no.
Okay, I'll have it back to you soon.
Yeah.
no, but
Next
these,
is fine.
these meetings have a way of